Good morning, Shane.
Buenos dias, mi amiga.
How are you?
Man, I'm doing my best to be my best. How you doing?
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Facts.
Me
Facts. That's all
too.
you can do,
Mm-hmm.
Put
Mm-hmm.
out good energy. Put
Yep.
out good energy. So how was your weekend?
Uh, it was good. It was good. On Saturday I went to dinner with my brother-in-law. He was in town, or he's in town visiting his mom, and then I went to my sister's house, and then we went out like that night. So I went I went someplace twice on
Oh,
Saturday.
you was cutting up. You thought you was a
I
little
had
young
three
thing out.
drinks.
You was running these streets.
I was so tired. By the end of the night, we were this hotel called the Whitley. We were in the lobby. It's a really the bar. It's a really nice bar. And I was like, we were like all falling asleep. I'm like, okay, we gotta go. We got to go. So yep.
What's
And
the
then
ideal bedtime? When you were like, all right, now it's bedtime. I gotta go.
no, but lately I'm usually a night owl, but I haven't been sleeping well, or I wake up like repeatedly. So I'm tired. And you know what it is. I ran out of CBD oil about a month ago.
That'll do it.
So I'm not getting good night's sleep. I'm sleeping, but it's not. I guess it's not restful sleep. So that's probably.
You're not getting to that REM sleep, that
Mm-hmm.
next level sleep. Yeah,
Yep.
but that
Yep. So
good
even
shit.
like last night, I fell asleep at 9
Yeah.
or a little after 9. I woke up a couple times through the night. Then I woke up at 7. So yep, yep, yep. And then daylight savings is not our friend, or daylight saving, whatever you call it. It's not our friend. So what'd you do?
We had a basketball tournament this weekend, so went and did that. That was cool. It was we played up against what did we play up against seventh graders this weekend, and so it was it was interesting. You know, running up against
Oh,
those
okay.
seventh graders. We came out 2-1. Won our first game, lost our second game, won our third game. Um, but it was like a win, but it wasn't
It
impressive.
didn't feel good. It was
Yeah,
a
it
win,
was.
like you were like,
Yeah, it was like
ugh.
we won, but
We won, but
we should have won better. Even though they're
right.
playing upper level, we were like we
Mm-hmm.
still should have had a better wins or whatever. We just expect our boys to play better, and so
Mm-hmm.
one of the dads is a Division 1 coach at one of the universities here in North
Mm-hmm.
Carolina, and so on Sunday we went over to that school's facility and we had the boys
Oh,
play
that was
some
nice.
basketball. Yeah, he we've been doing that kind of all summer. He opens up their practice facility for us, and so it's cool for the boys. So they
Now,
get to
does
go
he
over
need to
there.
get permission to do that?
He's like the main assistant coach there, so he don't,
Okay, I'm just asking because I know somebody who did that in middle school, who
yeah,
who was a coach, right, at a private school, and he had an AAU team, and he had them come and practice, and the school was like, "Yo, dude, you have to clear that because we're liable." So
yeah, yeah. I don't know. No, I don't know what he does. I'm
okay,
assuming he
I just
doesn't
I
have
just
to.
only thought of it because I had that conversation with somebody last night where they brought it up. So
Yeah, no, no, not at all. So we've been going there all summer. We go there a
okay,
couple of days, usually on Sundays. We go there and we'll invite other really skilled players, like probably on their same skill level or a level, couple levels above, that have
okay,
play like eighth graders. And they'll just run, kind of like how back in the day you used to just go to the park and play basketball.
right,
We feel like kids these days
like a pickup game.
don't, yeah, they don't play enough pickup basketball. Everything is
Yeah,
training and skilled and plays, and
right.
so we want to put them in a setting where they can just play pickup basketball for a couple hours, just nonstop running. And so that's what we do there. They just get to go there, get to go to this beautiful D1 facility and just run
Hmm.
and play ball for a couple hours and just don't have to worry about calling the play. Let's see what the coach gonna say. Just go play
Hmm.
ball. So that's been fun.
That's nice. When he was looking at schools, I think it was his junior year. We we went to go to a school. It was University of South Alabama, so it's in Montgomery.
Mm,
So it was it was far. It was
mm, can
yeah.
can feel
Where
the
the
racism in the
yeah,
name.
well, where the shrimp are like this, or the prawns are like this big. um, and his facility at his private school was better than the facility at that school.
Ew.
Yeah, because at his private school was like top notch. It was like it
Yeah.
was like it was like a college. So yeah, I was like, oh yeah, looking around. I'm like, oh okay, this looks like a high school. They were really nice. They were really nice. So they were
So
very nice.
precious.
And he had
So
some friends from his school that went there too. So
yeah.
they were nice.
Yeah, there's levels to it. Walking around this, I mean, we walk in. There's like an 80 inch. There's two 80 inch screens when you first walk in,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where the like we'll come in there sometimes, and the college players will be there playing NBA 2K.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, and so the boys will get to kind of play
They're
2K
like,
against some of the college
"Whoa."
kids. Yeah,
Yeah.
like they get to, and then they have like a stocked and loaded pantry.
Fridge. Oh,
Yeah, and so the boys raid that pantry every
that
Sunday.
is
They
so. Oh,
absolutely,
that's so nice. That's
yeah,
nice.
all these high end recovery drinks and snacks and shit. And so that was cool.
That is nice. All right, we have our special guest, and I'm just seeing if she's ready yet. She's our married to medicine
Correspondence.
Mondays. Yeah, roving reporter.
Oh my
Um,
gosh, can't wait to talk about it. I thought about you last night. I know you watched the episode. You probably know the part where I was thinking about you. Well, we'll talk about it when we get to
yeah.
it. But when they were at dinner with the sons,
Yes.
they were
Yeah.
talking about spring break.
Right.
I was,
I was like, what year was this? I was like,
yeah,
oh,
like that's.
and the excuse for the Ubers, no, we were just in our room on the
Yeah, I was
facility
like,
worried about the cartel.
I'm not sitting there like you lying. I know you. All right, we'll wait till we get to it.
I just messaged her. So the kids are off. Kid, okay, here she
There
is.
she
All right, here
goes.
she is. All right, let's get her on. Tamika Talks. Good morning, lovely.
Yeah, look at you.
I know
Good
sunshine.
morning. Listen, y'all know
Listen,
8 o'clock
Linda.
in the morning is rough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's rough. I was, fighting taking my nap because I usually take a nap at about 8:15. And so I was keeping myself busy.
That is
And
so
then I saw your
funny.
text. I was like, oh my God, what time is it?
Wait, so
I was
you
like, oh
wake
my
up?
God.
What
I was
time do
like,
you wake up?
I ain't got no shirt on. So my sleeping habits are so bad. So I probably get up functioning maybe like 5:30ish.
That makes
And
sense.
then I might lay back
Oh,
down,
okay.
I'll do some things.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I make lunch, you know, right. Yeah,
And then
Yeah,
that's
you
no,
take
that's
a nap.
that
that's me
makes
in a
perfect
nutshell.
Wow.
sense. I get that because when I get up and
Oh
work out early
yeah.
at 5,
I'm not a nice person if I don't take a nap. Yeah, I'm not really
oh,
a
so we
nice
about to get the
person.
spice.
I need a
Let's
nap.
go.
Oh, wow. Okay, we're gonna get spicy,
Oh, we
Tamika.
about to be spicy. Yo, last night episode gave us some spice though. Last night episode, you can tell the show's picking up momentum now. We got shit to talk about.
Where do we
Hmm.
start? What
Yeah.
Where do,
foolishness do we start with?
last night,
So listen, here's what I think we,
where
we
we
should
gonna
start
start
with
at?
first, right? So I rewatched the show. I had it playing in the background as I was like running around doing some things. I appreciated so much Dr. Simone's the little piece they showed with them at dinner with their sons and how she talked about how they're coddling
Right.
them. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh my God, thank you. Because I really think, unfortunately, and I am so guilty of this,
Mm-hmm.
that it is what we
Mm-hmm.
do. And I'm like,
And why do we do it? Because my
how do we
mom gets on me
change
all
the
the
narrative
time.
of that? Yes,
We
She's
don't
like,
want to change
she's
that.
like,
no idea. I
she
got
didn't say I
nothing.
baby them, but she's like, you give them too much, especially the grown ones, right? Like, she's
I
like,
think
You do. I told you that before.
I
You
think
do.
it's
And I told him.
it comes from where like we want. I can speak for me where
okay.
you want to give your children all the advantages that you necessarily didn't have when you were coming up. And so you spoil them. You want like because you know how hard life is going to be for
Well,
them.
that's for
And
you.
so if
I
you can
think
make
I
life
I led
easier,
a comfortable life.
yeah, but you still want to make life comfortable for your children too. You want them
Yeah.
to have the creature comforts because even though you lived a comfortable life, you didn't have a $800 a month taxi bill. You weren't taking taxis all over the place, were you? You were
It's
not
not.
doing that.
It was not eight. It was four.
Same thing.
And you also were not wearing Balenciaga sneakers and shoes.
And you
I don't
also
support
weren't.
a shoe habit. I
Let's
do
talk
not
about it.
support
Not
a shoe
anymore.
habit.
Not anymore.
The most I spent for
Oh, you just
no, no,
stopped.
no, no. Even back then, the most I paid for a pair of shoes was probably $500, and that
Wow.
was like Christmas. So since he's graduated, he has supported his own shoe habit, which I
Facts.
guess I support because if I got to pay your rent, you give me rent,
Exactly. Boom. There we go.
your
It's
rent
all a
money to pay for
circle.
shoes. It's a
It's all
circle
a
of
circle.
life.
Right? Even though you lived a comfortable life, you weren't taking international trips on your parents' dime.
My mother worked for an airline, so
But
Oh
we
yeah.
traveled. We
but you
traveled.
Yeah.
weren't going to take. Were you and your friends going to Mexico
No,
and hang out for spring break?
well, I mean, I was on her pass until I went to work for the airline at like 21. So
So you were going to
I
cancel
mean,
on with
yeah,
your friends for
we
spring
were
break?
no, I could have, but I didn't. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's
Actually,
all I'm saying. You
actually,
did.
and well, he's 20. They were 20 and 21.
That
So
was a
yes,
funny
I
part last night, Tamika, where they
yeah.
were talking about the spring break. And I was like, Trish was on the phone with me talking about how the boys ain't staying on the resort because, as people don't know, Trish's son and Dr. Simone's son are best of friends and they travel together. And so they went
Nah.
that spring break that they were talking about. I
Wait,
Jamie,
know
wait,
Jamie.
exactly what happened on that
wait,
spring break.
wait. Roll that back. Are you kidding me? So that's why Trish is defending this because everything that Dr. Simone said
Yeah, she
was
does it
her.
too. Oh yeah, they do it too.
And I'm
Birds
so
of a
mad
feather,
that I didn't
Tamika.
know this.
Birds of a feather flock together.
Absolutely. Oh, I got it. She is not allowed to comment.
Yeah,
Just
most
mute her
definitely. Yeah.
because she cannot defend that.
That whole spring break trip, it was the moms who was taking care of that.
And the Uber
Mhm.
thing when Cecil's
Yeah, the
like, and
Uber
I'm like,
thing,
that was
lies.
me. Like, where are you?
That
You
was
are off the
them
facility. I said,
tracking
don't
them.
leave the facility. They're like, oh, we didn't. And we just went out and came right back. I'm like, no. So
Nah,
yeah.
not at all. Yeah, no, I remember that whole conversation, that whole week.
Even
I
when
am
they
so
first got there
I,
and they weren't answering the phone, but they hadn't checked in yet, and I called the hotel, but Simone had booked the hotel. So they were like, I can't give you the ring. I can't ring the room. You can't ring the room. And I told Simone, I impersonated you. I was like, I am his mother. Because I knew she paid for it. I was like, you connect me to that damn room. Like,
I'm
yeah,
so
because the one
ashamed.
night we couldn't, they weren't even answering. And I was like, and then I think it was the day they were leaving too. So, or I was
I'm
like, you need
so
to
ashamed
come.
of you,
I
but now
know.
it's all clear.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Listen, you know, the first time I really got to talk to your son, I won't say his name, was at
Oh,
my
I say his
sister's
name all the
house.
time.
And I think,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well, Jason, and he was on the phone with you at my sister's house. And I was
Uh-huh.
like,
Who are you talking to?
who are you talking to like that? So when he got on the phone, he's like, my mother. I said, do you know I will hurt you if I ever hear you talking to her like that? I said, you are spoiled, you are coddled, you are rotten. Look at that,
He
the
is.
evidence. The evidence. Mm,
He is.
mm, mm.
He
His
definitely
poor
is.
girlfriend. His poor girlfriend. Mm, 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 mm. I think this needs to go in the history book so his girlfriend knows who to come to with the problems.
But
Yeah.
Facts.
I think he's a good boyfriend, though.
What does that mean?
I,
He can't be a good
that
boyfriend. You
he
coddle
that
him.
he's a well, but I think that I don't coddle him.
I
Trish.
think
Okay,
it's
what's
a
the definition of
difference.
coddling?
I think coddling is where you. All right, so let's get the official definition, and then
Okay,
we'll
let's get
give
the
our
definition
real world
because
to
Okay, yeah.
coddle.
Go
he's.
ahead.
I'd say he's spoiled.
Coddle.
Coddling means to treat in an indulgent or overprotective way.
Trish?
It's okay. So
Trish?
what's indulgent?
What's
So
indulgent? You want to break down? So, what exactly is
what's
indulgent?
indulgent?
All right,
It's
so let's
not like because I'm not like I paid his rent this past year, but I finally stopped.
indulgence.
Is that indulgent?
The in, indulging. All right, we got to go to the
Okay, so
definition.
he bought a Sprinter van, and I paid for that several months too. But that was just to protect his. Oh, Tamika doesn't know about this. I'll
Yeah,
tell you about
wow.
it.
You about to tell? Yeah, you about to
Over
tell.
drinks. Oh Lord.
So,
Okay.
indulgent is having or indicating a tendency to be overly generous or lenient with someone. So, yes,
Okay.
then
Yeah,
yes, you do coddle your
I
son.
am. Yep.
Do I
Yeah. Yep. You
You are
got
a
it. Yep.
coddler.
listen?
Yep.
You're
You
a coddler
Why am I like that with my kids though? Like I
because you want to
feel like
protect them. It's all about protection. Like you
man.
do things to protect your, like you did the stuff with the Sprinter van and the whole. You do everything with his business to protect his credit and his name, right?
Mm-hmm.
To keep that shit strong. You do everything else to protect their like social status. When they were younger, everyone else around them had to wear a certain thing, look a certain way, and the places that they have them, they would kind of be like treated differently if they weren't on that same place or wearing those same things. So you do those things for the kids because you want them to, be socially accepted by everyone. And you know what it's like as a parent.
Yep.
You don't want your
Yep.
kids to feel
Should I be laying
socially.
down?
You don't want your kids to feel socially like
Mm-hmm.
pushed away from everyone else. You want your kids to feel involved, and you want to give them, like I said earlier, you just want to give your kids a more comfortable lifestyle. No, make
Absolutely.
it
I
easier on them.
mean,
And that's what we
look,
do.
right. And what I'm saying is don't try to deny it or feel bad. It is what it
Okay,
is,
now,
right?
yeah,
It
okay, now
is
I
what it
know
is.
that I'm a coddler. My name is Trish
It
Martin. I'm a
is what
coddler.
it is.
It's
It's
okay.
fine.
I feel like we should
My
kind of,
husband is not, just to be on the
Well, I
record.
mean,
He is.
that's a
and
whole
that's
different story.
normally what happens though, right? And I
Hmm.
feel like both parents can't be coddlers, and I think sometimes you take turns. Like
Right.
maybe it's this time you're the coddler, and next time he's the
Hmm.
coddler. But I think the reality is, we have to own it.
Hmm.
And as we're seeing things happening that we are not happy with, and I'm speaking for me,
Hmm.
we got to recognize our role in how our kids got here. So that's why when she was talking, I was like, I appreciate this conversation 100%. To
Yeah.
me, it was a whole, I tell everybody empty nesting is a myth.
Hmm.
They're like, oh, your kids are going up to school. You can be walking around the house naked. I was like, empty nesting is a myth. I said, until they own, I said, at first I said, until they own their own homes. And I was like, no, roll that
Not
back.
even then. Yeah.
Empty nesting is a myth because literally I go to my parents' house and get into bed. So empty nesting is a myth.
I
Yes. And I
know
was
my
like, people should
mother.
stop
Even I
saying
talk to
it.
my mom
It's a
every
myth.
day. She yells at, she fusses at me. It's like I'm
Hmm.
15.
Yeah. I think
Right.
So,
Like you're right. Exactly.
that's a healthy thing, though. I think when you mentioned
Hmm.
something to me about coddling, everyone takes turns. I think in my household, we have different types of coddling. My wife is an emotional coddler in our house. Like, she allows children to be emotional with her. She indulges their emotions. She talks to them. She lets them have their big feelings. She lets them, just be. And they have a very open, from the boys to the little girl, they talk to her about anything. While me, I don't get that same interaction with my children. My children are very like straightforward with me. They know I don't emotionally coddle them. Like, I don't give a fuck how you feel. Like, here's the situation. like
all right,
like
Big Sean.
I don't want to know why you don't feel like doing something. I want you to do it. Like, it's not. I don't give a fuck about your feelings about doing this or why you don't feel like going to practice. We done paid all this money. You going to practice? Like, I don't care.
Oh
While
my
my wife will be like,
gosh.
okay, talk to me about why you don't want to go to practice. Let's talk through their feelings.
So
Well,
do you hate, like,
but
not hate, but how does that make you feel, like when
what
you see
I
the opposite of what you do?
I respect it though, because I also get a very much determined kids, right? When they're with me, they know that there is no excuse to not execute or get something done. It's going to get done when they're
Hmm.
with me. When they're with their mom, they know they can be like, oh, I don't want to. Oh my gosh, mommy.
And so here's what's funny. So here's what's funny for me with that, right? Is that I feel like we definitely play those roles, but my husband allows my daughter to do whatever, right? So she
But what?
can do that, the cry, the bat the eyes, and he's like, well, she don't want to do it. She shouldn't have to do it. He was never that way with my son. Never that way with my son. Like never.
Yeah.
Like the whole
Yeah,
lacrosse
that I
thing.
have a
It was
problem
like, get
with.
out there, do it, run, you
Yeah.
can run. And then she was like, oh, I'm tired. He's like, okay, you don't have to do it. So I definitely think the gender roles come into play with that also.
Hmm.
Because she,
But you,
My
but you
daughter
know what?
tries it, but I'll be like, come on.
My husband, I, he's really, Ariel's got him kind of twisted a little bit. She never did, and I respected that. He treated her like a boy. Like when
Okay.
everybody learned how to ride a bike, when it was her turn, he was like, "You're going to have to take over." I was like, "Why?" He said, "Because she's not react. She's not my methods aren't working." I said, "Well, what's your method?" He said, "Well, I slap her in the helmet when she doesn't do it right." Because that's what he did to the boys,
Okay.
and she was like, not going for it because
Yeah, like you better
So
stop hitting
I
me.
had to take over,
Yeah.
but. And so he really has treated like if you tell them to take the trash out, he said Ariel, it's like equal opportunity. But what she got in trouble one time, and he called me on the phone, and I went downstairs and she was sitting on his lap,
Playing daddy like a fiddle.
and he was like, "Hun, Ariel has some things she wants to say to you." I was like, "Are you kidding?" I was like, I expected more from you. Like,
But
then I was a hard parent. I expected more from him.
yeah, I mean, you saw that last night too when daddy, they call him daddy. What the fuck? When
When daddy,
when
Dr. Damon.
heavenly
Doctor,
Dr. Damon.
heavenly and Dr. Damon were talking to their daughter, and Dr. Damon said, if it came to the boys, I didn't care if they went off a long way
because
to
I
go
can
off to
protect.
school.
That's
Yep.
You know what I mean?
yes.
But this is my daughter. I want her to be close. And then you saw him tearing up in the
And
one-on-ones.
the
And that's
little
Yeah.
like,
thing, I
yeah, he was like,
know.
yo, that's my baby. Like, that's my little girl.
Yep.
I'm not trying to send her off. But she made a good point. She was like, how both y'all go off to school for our
Hmm.
distances, but then gonna tell me I can't go for our distance off for school or whatever. You know what I'm
Well, my
saying? Like,
Hmm.
role now is that like with Jackson, I'm like, can it be? No, it needs to be a direct flight,
Oh yeah, you've been
and
all
Makes
over
sense.
the map with him,
and for those which I
with
and
Jason.
no more than 4 years, no more
Yeah.
4 years, no more than 4 hours away. A direct flight, no more than 4 hours.
Okay.
So
And you can
because
do a
I feel
lot
like
with a
that
direct flight.
yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
yeah, that covers a lot.
you can do.
no,
You can almost do
oh
the.
yeah, right. Just don't
Yeah,
go anywhere in Idaho.
yeah,
Well,
basically Idaho or Washington.
well, you can go to Boise. Yeah, you can go to Boise, but do not go to Pocatello. Do not go someplace where I have to get on a little plane and can't see the mountains from
That's
the
funny.
fog on the little plane. So
Yeah,
Got
well,
it.
a
that's nice.
direct
Got
flight. I said, he's like, why, Ma? I said, in case some shit goes down, so I can get there.
You sound like
Wait.
Heavenly and David and Damon last night. Like,
That's how
look,
I feel. I
Damon
feel
was like, I
like
got to be able to get there in an hour or
yeah,
less.
he said hour or
Right?
Listen,
less.
and so I feel like George Floyd, I was really of the mindset, you should go wherever.
Right.
If you want to go here, you should go here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think now I'm really like, I need to be able to get to you. So like,
Yep.
initially my son was a little less than 2 hours. My daughter wants to be in Boston. I'm like, that's almost 5 hour drive.
And it's
Oof.
And that is
Boston.
Boston. On top of that, it's
Oh
Boston,
gosh.
where it's just the racism is
The
just
the
embedded in the
capital of
culture.
racism. Yeah, they're just
Oh
like
man, it's like them
niggas
Charleston,
like it's like pass the milk.
I
Boston,
need y'all to I need y'all to stop
Boston,
saying
Charleston,
that.
and Mississippi are like
I work
twins.
for a company. They are built different. I work
Yeah,
for a
Boston
Boston
is
based company.
horrible.
Though even
I
in a
would not
professional
recommend
setting, they were
Boston.
some motherfuckers.
Professional athletes. Saw Jalen Brown got held the other day, last year when he was talking about the Boston crowds. Like
Yeah.
Boston, professional athletes talk about how racist Boston
Mm-hmm.
and Utah have the worst crowds. They're just,
Utah?
oh my gosh, yeah, Utah.
Wow.
Oh.
So let me tell you what's so funny where I'm really not surprised that Utah, right? Because I have some friends
Hmm.
who work for tourism in Utah, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so she was talking about it. She'd asked me how come I'd never been. And I was like, Utah ain't really a black like hangout city. Like
Right.
it ain't the
Facts.
place that all the black people are like, oh, I want to go to Utah. Like,
Nope.
so two of them recently got a job, and guess what they got a job at?
Not the Utah.
Boston.
Oh,
No,
okay.
Boston. They left
Oh.
Utah and now they're in Boston. They're like, we love this. This is just like Utah. And I was like,
That tells you everything. Exactly. I just love the way
Except
this
for Boston
this
is
innate
Boston's a
racism
cool city. I
feels.
mean,
It just feels so
Boston is a
cool.
cool city though. I mean, take away the
hey,
bigots, it's a
Take
very
away the
nice city.
I
bigots.
feel
Yeah.
like bigots are
Like
everywhere,
Mississippi.
right?
Take away the
I
nooses
feel
off the
like
trees.
bigots are everywhere. I had a really good time the past few times that I've been to Boston.
I
Now, of
love
course,
Boston.
now of course, I'm there on a different, kind of thing. So
Platform.
Right.
I may
Yeah.
not experience all that. And
Right.
I've been, kind of talking to my daughter, but she is very strong-willed. And I said, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
If Boston is where you want to be, go to Boston. There are colleges everywhere you can transfer.
Right.
So yeah,
Yeah.
we'll
I
see.
Right. You
mean,
don't
But
like it, you can leave.
right,
basically, kind of like
yeah.
what Quad did with old Greg over there. She didn't like it. She left, and now we see that maybe it wasn't Quad.
But you know
'Cause
what? When
the way
when they
Sweet
showed
Tooth.
you the previews and you thought her blowing up was because Quad walked in,
Isn't that crazy? I
and
like
it
how
Yeah.
they
was
did the switch. That was good.
and
No,
it
but
was
before,
over the wedding costing more, and she did all that.
but
Like,
hold on
Doing
though.
arguing with
Here's
her sister.
yeah,
we
that
are
was
we
weird.
are glazing over
Okay,
the
what are we
fact
glazing
that
over?
Greg is the asshole in the situation.
We knew Greg was an
I
asshole, didn't
didn't. I
we?
thought it was Quad.
Oh
I thought it
Oh
was
I
Quad.
didn't think it
goodness.
was Quad.
I thought it was
I
Quad.
thought they weren't even. I thought they were a weird couple, but
Yes,
I
I did
thought it
not
was
think it
yes,
was
Quad.
her. I did not think
yes,
she was the
I
problem.
didn't.
yes.
And now I
And so
see
let
that
me
Greg's
say
the
this.
problem.
So when I started watching the show, I said, I'm not sure why they're married. The
Yeah.
Yes,
first problem is he wanted kids and she
and
really
she
doesn't.
didn't. And it's like,
Yeah.
did you guys have a conversation at
Like
all?
how I will never understand that type of dynamic when couples
Right.
Mm-hmm.
enter into
They don't know the
marriage
kid stuff.
knowing that so I don't know if they did or didn't, I don't know, but like that's not really something you can change someone's mind
And he
on.
never said
I
you
think
change.
people
He
hope
never
they
said
change
you
their mind.
said like he never said that to her. He never accused her of ever saying that she wanted kids.
But here's
So
the
it's
Right.
thing
like,
that
well,
people
you
do
said you
though.
would, and but if that were the case, then he would have brought it up. Like you
But
said you
people,
would.
you'll bring it up though. We sit here talking about,
He
oh man,
didn't
I
bring
can't
it.
wait to have kids. No, I'm just saying, like, I'm sure
No,
there's a
I'm saying
conversation where
she
he's
never
talking.
said. I don't think she ever said, "I we'll have kids." I don't think she
I
said
don't
that.
think she ever said that we're not going to have kids though. And
Okay.
so
Mm.
that's what I'm saying. It's like not saying is just as bad as
That is,
promising and
I
not
agree.
delivering. right? So he
Yeah.
can be sitting there talking about kids, and she'd be like, "Oh yeah, that'd be nice," not saying, "Oh no, I can't. I'm never going to
Mhm.
do that," or whatever, right? And so in his mind, her silence is agreeing, right, that we're going to have
Okay.
kids or whatever. So yeah, she may have never said I want kids, but she may have never said I don't want kids
Right.
either or whatever, right? Sometimes you got to speak up and let shit be
Mhm.
known or whatever. But not
Mhm.
seeing that Sweet
Mhm.
Tea is going through all these issues in the beginning, and then you know
Mhm.
what gave me so much
Mhm.
pause, and I felt like heavenly when she said, "Oh, it's going to change once we get married."
Mm. Mm.
Oh.
Mm. Listen. I was just rewatching it. I was taking notes. I was like, dummy check.
Yo, I wrote it down in
Not
my
gonna
notes too.
happen.
I'm
Not
like,
gonna happen. Stupid
broski,
check.
you got to believe people when they show you who they are. People,
Mhm.
Listen.
people will show
Listen.
you who they are. And this idea that they're going to change when you
He
get
is
married,
super petty. Like to tell her that the place got robbed. He is
yo,
super petty.
that shit was hilarious.
First of all, not only like scared her, like got robbed. That was the only thing you could think to say. Yeah. So let me say this. I feel like for both of them, they are blind. I think he needed a new storyline, and
Yeah.
this is his storyline. And I think that they are going to end up divorced. I don't think this
Oh,
marriage is
flat.
going to last if it even happens. And
Mm.
I feel like so much stuff is going to start coming out. I feel like Greg is going to be Greg because what we're seeing now,
That's
He's
you know,
him.
in the
controlling.
it's who he was. That's who he was with
Mhm.
Quad. And the thing was, Quad was just not, that's just not Quad's personality to be the controller.
Control.
Submissive.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
think what happens is right now with this young girl, and I'm going to call her a young girl,
She is because
is
she's
that
younger.
she is trying to appease that in him.
Right.
You can't be fake for a long time. It gets real old, and the real
Mhm.
her is going to come out, and that's when they're going to really, the riff is really going to happen. And I'm hoping that maybe like her sister, who seems a little alarmed to me, is like watching a lot of this
Yeah.
unfold.
Mhm.
It's kind of like, yo, pump your brakes. Let's talk.
See.
I think she's like
So we'll see.
she is doing what, or Greg is hoping that she does what some men do when they go after younger women. Like they can be more pliable
Molded.
to
Mm-hmm.
suggestion,
Mm-hmm.
right? They
She
can,
doesn't
Yep.
seem like she's that type
yeah.
of
And
person.
but I think that's how she bagged him though. She bagged him by
Right. Right
acting
now,
like
but
she
think
was
about it. Right
pliable.
now. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, she
Yep.
bagged him by acting like she's pliable, but it's
Yep.
fighting against her nature. You see that, like, this ain't
That. Woo.
this ain't who I am, but she know this is the role she got to play in order to
Yep.
get this lifestyle of assistants and wedding planners and all this stuff and housekeepers and all this. But she's like, how am I supposed to keep this up? And so she's like, oh, I hope he's gonna change. But you like what I always say, whatever vibe you put in the beginning is the vibe you got to maintain the whole time.
Mhm.
And
That part.
if you don't want to be
That part.
pliable and suggestible and the demure, like little submissive wife, which is what he's looking for, then
Mhm.
you bet, yeah, you might need to put in your 2 week resignation because
Have a good prenup. Don't get one of them 10-year prenups.
because it's a wrap, bro. Like,
Listen.
yo, because
Yeah.
he ain't
Yeah.
changing. This dude ain't changing. Like,
At
he,
all. At
No.
all.
He's exactly the same with
I
that little
mean, and
voice.
he
Ugh.
showed that.
oh my gosh, and then the bachelor party.
Ugh,
So hold on. So
voice. If I
what is
drop my
the
pants, I'm not picking
what
it
is
back
the
up.
etiquette? Let me ask
Ugh.
y'all a question. First of all, I was gonna ask who had the better bachelor or bachelorette party, but we saw the men won that one easily. Now,
Oh, we
what
did.
is? I mean, the women had drama in theirs.
Oh yeah, that's
yeah,
true. Yeah.
yeah. There was crying, throwing, fighting. Like, yeah, that killed the vibe. So the men won
Gosh.
that. The one
It was
check mark for the men.
cute
I
at
mean,
first when it started, and then it went
oh
left.
yeah.
Yeah, it went
At
left.
first, there
Yeah,
was
I'm with
like,
you.
listen, because let
Yeah,
me tell you,
the one guy was like, just
Yeah.
unwind.
a trench coat and lingerie is undefeated. You know what I'm saying? Like, you cannot listen.
Listen,
I don't
all
care
day,
what
all day,
generation
all
it
day,
is. Yeah, a woman shows up
all
to her
day,
partner
all
with a
day.
trench coat and lingerie. Y'all, hey, y'all, that person is gonna do whatever y'all want. And so the
I
women were
agree.
winning that in the beginning, but the men came through it in. But what is the proper etiquette for bachelor and bachelorette party? As two women
I didn't
who
have
have
one, so
been
I don't
around,
know.
but you've been around women who've had bachelor parties,
I've
Well, I
only
had
bachelorette
I've
two.
parties.
only been to one.
Tamika says I had
I had
two.
two.
You
So what
had
Yeah,
is the etiquette? Is there
I had
touching
two.
allowed? Can you touch at a bachelorette party?
So I'm gonna say yes, and here's why I'm gonna say yes,
Okay.
right? Because to me, it is not really sexual, right? Like, and then okay, so maybe we should
that's from a
define
female
touching.
perspective.
So maybe
Okay.
we should define touching. Let's let's
Right.
let's roll back to that. So when
Okay.
you say touching, what do you mean? Like,
Like,
do you mean I'm touching his arm, touching his thigh, or am I touching the
so
thing? Like, what we touching?
like what came okay, so then what came to, because you saw like when the men were getting lap dances, you saw the women were on their laps and they were like kind of holding the women, kind of, or whatever. Then you saw next level of touching, which was like Greg on stage touching, right? And he was like on the girls on stage, but then you saw touching at the women early in the night, where these
Right.
men are like
Massage.
massaging their thighs and massaging their titties too. Like they were rubbing on the titties as well, massaging, right? So like where's the gauge in touching here? Like what is the touching gauge that's
So
allowed?
I personally feel that there should be no genitalia touching,
Okay.
right?
No problem.
And I mean, because I mean, think about it. Like oftentimes when you get a massage, it's real close.
Big
And you got to kind of
facts.
be like, oh, whoa, what's happening here?
Or you just be like, oh,
Um,
let it go. You know what
we,
I'm saying?
we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. And so I think that's the issue, right? Because genitalia touching can lead to other things.
Yeah.
Well, but men
So
get lap dances, so that's
Hands on genitalia, or like
hands,
hands or mouth on
hands.
genitalia is not allowed
Yes,
at bachelor.
absolutely. So like a lap
okay.
dance, like you have clothes on. So as long
One
as
of you
we
have
got
clothes on.
yeah. Well, she technically got clothes on. We
Yeah.
got a layer of something in between to
Well, that's what
Her
we
avoid
saw.
thong, which was her
some type.
thong.
Well, I'm just
Listen, that's
saying.
what we saw. I've been to bachelor parties. Those thongs don't stay on at the
Well,
bachelor
that yeah,
parties.
they were
They
the
come off.
butt swooped them up anyway. You couldn't even see them.
Yeah, all those strings end up on the floor. All those strings end up on the floor
Yeah, and so
eventually.
and I feel like oftentimes there should be a conversation about it. Like
Yeah,
how, Dr. Jackie was like,
no
whatever.
touching.
Right.
Meanwhile, you saw he had his hand on her waist.
Listen, he was just trying to stop her from falling. He was
Oh,
just trying to make sure she was balanced and had then
Okay.
want her to like lean over or whatever. That's what he was doing. Yeah,
Okay.
he was
You text him that.
he was being supportive. He
literally.
was he was supporting her. Yeah, that's what
And
that was.
so let me say this. And so I feel like, especially from the standpoint of them being on TV, they know their wives are going to see this.
Right.
So for anybody who did above and beyond, you just was disrespectful and didn't
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
care.
and I think
That's how that's my take on it.
they all walked the good line, because I think they found. Remember a couple years ago when they were in Cabo, and they had the
Mm-hmm.
strippers down
Mm-hmm.
there. They were a
Mm-hmm.
little bit more unhinged than they were
Mm-hmm.
this
Oh
time,
yeah.
right? Even Dr. Dame was
Yes.
cutting up when he was in
Yes.
Cabo. He
He
was
certainly
like,
was. That's why he had the doll.
Yeah.
They gave him the doll this year.
they understand. They're like, oh, because
Yeah.
I think the men usually don't get subjugated to the editing, and they don't really get caught up in the TV part, right? They're always
Mm-hmm.
looked at in the supporter role. So I think Cabo,
Right.
when they were like, the editors had fun chopping up their little adventure. They're like, oh
This is
wait.
bad from every
Yeah, this is
angle.
bad for us too. Like we can
Yeah.
get pulled into it too. So I
Yeah.
think this time they're all like, that's why they're all looking at Greg like, yo, bro, like,
Right. Like, what are you doing, man? What is
like, yo,
happening?
the
And I like
camera,
what he was like, you cannot invite her to the wedding.
Right. I'm going to invite
You
her to the wedding.
cannot invite
bro.
her to the wedding.
This is not the best man.
This is not. He was really caught up in that. Yo, he was like, you come to the wedding. I tell you, men are simple creatures. Like you touch us and you suggest things, we will do whatever you want. It is not.
Very. Yes.
It is.
I agree.
And I think that when you get grown as a man, you understand that, and so you just don't put yourself in situations to be
Mm-hmm.
pliable or whatever. Like
Mm-hmm.
grown men aren't less pliable. They're just smarter in the fact they don't put themselves in situations to be pliable or whatever. You know what
And
I'm saying?
so I know this not what we talking about, but that comment right there, I don't know if you guys watched the interview with Neil Long and Jeezy, and that's exactly what he
What?
said.
Yeah.
And he literally told her, "Real men don't cheat," and that's what he
I
said.
mean, part of that
He
interview was
said, "Real
Jesus trying
men
to.
know how to pull back."
Yeah.
Might have been. Listen, I don't know. Look, I
Yo,
hope they get
Jeezy.
together. That
Hey,
interview
if
was
I'm
And
great.
I
Jeezy,
don't like his hand. Like
I'm trying to go
you
after him.
married that Asian woman, and now you gonna come to the black women for us to take care of you. I'm like,
Well, I mean,
whatever.
he was with black women first, and then
Okay, he didn't marry one.
I ain't mad at none of that. Whatever. I don't care. I
yeah.
like that little conversation. I said, "Look, say what she need to hear." Thank you.
Exactly. That's what Jesus was doing. Jesus was doing what every man knows how to do.
Who? I
You
was
say what you
confused. Who
gotta
was
say
who
to
was interviewing
smash.
whom?
They were interviewing each other. It was a
Okay, because
Yeah.
conversation. It
okay,
Yeah.
wasn't necessarily an interview. It was a
okay,
conversation.
because I
Yeah.
But
was
what you
confused
just
on how it got
said
together.
reminded me of that. And I remember
Yeah.
like telling somebody like, this is dope. I like that.
And I
So,
think
but
that's real shit. Like, he says real niggas don't cheat. And, I think that was game. But I think real niggas understand that their weaknesses and don't put themselves in a situation to be
That part.
exploited.
That
Mhm.
part. Oh
Like you
yeah,
don't.
absolutely.
I don't. You just understand
You,
who you are. You understand your weaknesses. Like
yep.
I'm,
Yep.
like I'm not gonna
Yep.
go and sit outside Rihanna's house, and because I know that it's a problem for me.
I'll have the police called on me.
Exactly right. Like I'm not gonna do that. I know my weaknesses,
First.
right?
Right.
Right. But yeah,
Right.
I
I
think
Like,
hear
that
I'm
you.
in
that's real
jail.
shit. Like your weaknesses as an adult,
Right.
not even
Yep.
grown women too,
Mhm.
because I think a lot of times
Mhm.
we don't understand that women want to fuck too, and so it's like
Mhm.
women. I think from a young age, you guys have had men coming at you since you in puberty, so you guys understand how to say no and put yourselves in situations where you're not easily like manipulated or ran game on or whatever. And so women have a little better training than men in that, and I think that's when
Yeah,
men
I
get
agree.
grown. Men get grown when we understand not to put ourselves in bad situations or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's grown
Mhm.
man shit, whatever. But no,
Absolutely.
last night was good, man. Last night was a great episode. It gave us a little tea, and it was do you think that Toya was projecting her feelings on Sweet Tea when Quad came in last night?
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
Yes.
everyone else was really kind of accepted Quad being there, but Toya wouldn't let this shit go.
But you
And
know what? And initially
I
I was,
get it.
yeah,
I get it.
initially I was
I
like,
get it.
she's projecting, but then I was like, no, Quad should leave
Why?
So I definitely do
because it
feel
was
like
messy.
she was projecting, right? Because they got a lot of unresolved issues that have not been
Hmm.
tabled, and they have sat and talked about it and done real women shit, basically, right? But I also feel her saying what she said was right, right?
Yep.
Why are you at the bachelor party of the ex-wife, I mean, of the new wife or fiance, whatever she is,
Hmm.
and you don't even know her? So you showed up to be messy. That's why
But
you're
she
there.
wasn't being messy though. She just brought gifts and was
Showing
there.
up was being messy.
But
Showing up was being messy. And here's the
Yeah.
thing, she didn't know how Sweet Tea was going to perceive her.
Right.
that is true. That is
Think
true.
about it.
It could have
She
been a
had no
fight.
idea.
Sweet Tea
Because
handled that like her and her
yeah, I'm not
people.
that adult. I
Her
ain't
and
that
her
adult.
people
I
handled
said
that.
that.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
yeah.
her sister could have went
Listen,
off. Yeah.
she would have got dragged from the door. Be very clear. Be
Now,
very clear.
would you
It would
have
have been a whole
dragged?
different headline. Oh,
Would you have
absolutely, I
dragged
would have.
Phaedra as
Yes.
well
Oh yeah, she would
Yes.
have had to go.
for inviting her? Because Phaedra
Yeah.
trying to like ski, like just kind
That's
of
why they
slid
want
under
Phaedra on
this.
the show, though.
Like
That's who
she's
she
the
Because
one
she
who
is.
kind
messy.
of created this moment. Nobody's mad at Phaedra. Everyone's mad at Quad, but goddamn, Phaedra gave her the invitation and
Oh
Right.
opened the
no,
door for her.
no, but Toya
Right.
said something. She said something to Phaedra, like you're a messy bitch.
Right. And she messy. She is. And that's why they have her on the show, because she messy.
Hmm.
Right. Because you're never going to see this doctor dude that she's dating. She's on the show to bring mess because they needed some drama to get their ratings up and get people into the
Hmm.
show. But I'm just like, at what cost? At what point? Like,
Is
that whole
Phaedra dating a
perception.
doctor just to be on the show?
I don't, is she really dating him? Have you
Ooh,
seen him?
He's in Nigeria.
he's a Nigerian. No,
Okay.
then when we see him one episode, I thought he came through one
No, no,
time.
no. I
I
thought
don't know.
they had his face blacked out.
They did
Yeah, they did.
because he's like
Yeah,
I only part of that mess. Plus, he probably got some other women or wives or something.
yeah. I mean, he's Nigerian. I
Communal.
mean,
Absolutely. I ain't mad at it. But right. So
he,
I just feel like the depiction of that. And so literally as she's coming in or whatever, I really thought it was about to like go off.
Right?
And then I was
Yeah.
like, wow. I said, I appreciate that she didn't give
Then she was
what
like,
was
sit next to
expected.
me. Hmm.
yeah,
Right.
yo, sweet to
Right.
him that she ran that real classy like.
But the
Hmm.
other thing I had to say, oh wait, Game might gotta recognize Game, because she
Hmm.
might be like, let me figure out how to handle this nigga, because the way he acting right now, I gotta switch this up. Let
But
me see
Quad
what
don't
she
know.
didn't
Quad
do
doesn't
that I
know.
need to do. I
Oh.
know, but what I'm saying is she's gonna ask her some
Yeah, she's
questions.
trying to get in the
Tell
quad's
me
head.
about
Oh.
Greg, so she knows what not
What
to
she's
do, and
yeah.
the
Okay.
opposite. Yeah, I'm telling you. So I feel like that's where it's gonna go into. I don't think they're gonna be friends,
Hmm.
but I do think that she's gonna be like trying to get some inside information, kind of like, okay, how do I
Hmm.
change this narrative, because I can't. This ain't gonna work going on
That's smart.
like
That's like
this.
Trish.
So
That's
I
what,
really
like you
think that
say.
that's what's happening. I do.
Yeah, Trish. That's like what you said, where you gotta get a reference before you go into a company or a job, right? Like I want to hear
Hmm.
about the job from somebody who been there before I go to the job. And she's like,
Right.
"Yo, let me holler at Quad
Yeah.
about how to
Well,
how
that's
to
true. I've
deal with
said that with
this."
men first, and then
See,
that's
I
what
didn't
it
want to say
worked.
that. I
Yeah.
didn't want to say that part. No, I'm just
I don't date people that don't have references. Somebody who does not have a referral. Like I can't just straight up
She's
just
like, I need a referral. You can't just come. You
people
can't
aren't
risk.
who they are, who they
Yeah,
say. A lot of people aren't who they say they are
you can't just
anyway.
get
So
my
you
phone
need
number.
definitely need to.
I have friends. I have friends that are that exact way, and I say to them, "Don't be that way. Go get the free meal.
Not the free
Have a
meal.
conversation. Oh, it's a free meal. Like, it is what it is.
I,
Have a conversation. Talk. Figure it out. Like, if y'all vibing, then vibe. But don't go into this looking for your lifelong mate. It's a
Oh
date.
no. This is when I was this. That's because when I was younger, I dated a
running the
guy who I
streets.
found out was married, and so
I
that's
always
why.
wondered about that. How do
Yeah,
women not know dudes is married,
we live in
bro?
2 different cities.
Oh shit, yeah. Oh yeah, he
Yeah,
was definitely married.
right.
Yeah.
And you can
So
even still live in the same city and not know. It's possible.
yeah,
That's, I mean, that
It's
dude got to work
possible.
hard. That's a lot of hard work. Whatever to make that. I'm just saying, telling the truth is easier. You
You're
know what I'm saying?
right.
There's
You're right.
plenty
Yep.
of women will accept the role
Yep.
as a side piece, and
Yep.
you
mm-hmm,
don't got to go through the
That
drama
part.
of
mm-hmm.
That
telling the lie. It
part.
is
That part. I will never
excruciating.
understand it, but you are correct.
Some
That
people just
part.
want, yeah, they want whatever attention they can get, and they'll take whatever you give them.
And then the other thing I also think is they have this idea of what you're giving your wife, and they want some of
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, it could be totally a lie. But
facts.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
That's
that
a
part.
whole, yeah, yeah.
That's a
That's
whole
a
nother
whole
discussion.
nother conversation.
Right.
Yeah, because
Mm-hmm.
there's two levels to that, right? Because there are men who can afford to do two of the things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was coming up in the world, I had a lot of old school heads who was kind of teaching the game, and they're like, "Don't have two if you can't do the same for everybody." You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so if you
That
gonna
part.
run the game and you gonna have multiples, make sure you can do the same for all of them, or don't do it for none of them, or
Right.
whatever, right? Because that's, yeah, we can't.
Absolutely.
You definitely don't want to, like, shit on home and then trick off all your money
Right.
out in the
Yep.
streets or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy shit.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
that's
And I
wild.
really believe that that's what, that's what they say for Muslims, because a lot of them have, other wives, and they're like, you can't have these wives if you
You can't
can't
have
treat
more than you can
them,
afford. Right.
right. Exactly. Hmm.
Now, could
So,
y'all see yourself being a sister wife?
nope.
Could you?
Oh, let me roll that back. Let me roll that back.
Can you?
I
I
said that.
mean, like,
I said
legitimately, like, think
no. I
about it.
said
Could you
no
see
too
yourself being
quick.
a sister wife?
So I think that a lot of women, we joke about it. Um, and I think it depends on what that entails. Like, what do I have to do? Like, what can I just give her all the stuff I don't want to do? Like, can
Yeah,
I control
basically.
the situation? So if I
Yeah,
can control it, where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give you all the stuff I don't
yeah,
want to do, I might be okay with.
yeah. I mean, yeah, you with a man, he can maintain the exact same lifestyle you have. Nothing changes about your lifestyle at all. Somebody gets added into it. They get the same treatment you get, but they're just a sister wife. They just help you take
So
on
see,
some of the
that's see,
duties.
no, no, no. You didn't just say so. No, no, no. You said that she get the same treatment that I get. I
Because
need to
she's a
control that.
wife.
No, there's
I
a
don't care.
bottom
That's
You
not
bitch.
my
can't
issue.
No,
wait,
there's a
wait, wait,
bottom.
wait. So
Isn't
she
there a
gonna get
bottom
treated
bitch in Sister
less?
Wives?
Huh? I
Isn't
think,
there a
yeah.
bottom bitch in Sister
Yeah,
Wives?
there's the main
Yes,
wife. There's the number
Right.
one
So you're
wife.
not all getting treated the same because the bottom
that
bitches
part.
I
get
mean, when I
more.
say treated the same, I mean, like, she lives in the house, she gets a car. Like, when I say
Lives in
treated the
lives
same,
in
I
a
mean,
house like that show where they all had their own houses in the neighborhood, or you living
well, I
all in the
mean,
same
yeah,
house.
there's
Yeah.
tiers to it. You can have a big ass house and everybody can have a
No,
room.
we're not doing that.
You're not gonna do that. So okay, so you can have a compound and everybody can have a house on the compound.
Myself, I could not see doing that, but
Why?
I definitely would have to just because I don't want to.
Why?
I wouldn't want to just because I wouldn't want to.
Why? There's a
Um,
reason why.
because I wouldn't want to. I
She
don't.
don't
Why?
want to share.
I don't. Maybe I don't want responsibilities. Maybe I don't wanna be like, I ain't doing shit. And you can't be the one not doing shit if you're a sister wife
Yes,
because
you
they all
can.
gotta
If
pull
you're the
the
first wife, you can be like, your job is to do this, your job is to do that.
I told you, I
oh,
have to control the narrative.
Yeah,
The
okay.
only
like, as the
way.
main wife, you can dictate. You just like being a manager or a
What
director.
if I'm like the
Right.
main wife, don't none of y'all
I'm
fuck
the
with her?
madam. I'm the madam in this situation.
Exactly. Basically, you're
Uh,
the
oh
madam.
yeah, so we already know your fetish, Tamika, because last week you said you were retired. You're gonna be a man.
Exactly. Like, you just run the show.
And
You
your
just
next
you
wife.
dictate how things move around in the house.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
no,
Or in the
I don't care
property.
enough. At this age, I don't care enough.
Exactly. That's my point. Like, you at this age, why not
Hmm.
have a sister wife where
Why
it can
can't I have
handle
a bunch of husbands? That's what I
that
want.
Mm.
too? There's a woman who got a show on TLC where she
I
has like,
saw
There
that.
is? That's a
yeah,
Yeah.
show?
she had like
Yeah.
5 husbands. A
It's
black woman.
What?
weird. It's weird though. It's
Yeah,
weird.
I think the
Oh.
It's
first two or
weird.
three. I think the first 2 or 3 were legit, but I think everything else now is for the show.
Yeah,
Like, I
so
think,
do I.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Like
she
every
got
now and
on the
then I'll
show
pop
because
an episode.
legitimately, yeah,
Right. Yeah.
it
I'm
was
Oh,
like,
now
legit
this
at
is
she's more.
first.
weird.
Now it's
I'm
just,
like,
yeah,
this
because
is
she's just
weird.
running out now. She just take adding boyfriends
Yeah.
on, just
Right. I'm
adding on
like,
more boyfriends. Like, bruh,
Right now, you
Oh,
looking
that's
like a hoe. Stop. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird. It's
Like
weird.
at
It's
some point in
weird.
time, it's
Yeah.
enough dicks in the room. Like
Right.
you gotta.
Exactly. Like, come on. And that right.
It's,
Right. Right.
it's enough that like after about 4 of them, 5, like goddamn, like
What are you doing?
I can see the 2 or 3. Like okay, cool. You got two husbands. That's fine. Maybe you got 2 husbands and a boyfriend. Give you a little variety. But now you adding on more boyfriends and more boyfriends and more boyfriends.
Yeah, it's so weird.
It's a lot going on.
Who's
sorry,
calling
guys.
somebody?
That's
Oh,
what
I'm like, what just
Church.
happened?
She
She
was
hung
like, she got to turn off her alarm. That's funny. She'll jump back on here in a second. No, but last night episode was cool. I think the setup for next week is going to be interesting. One with her telling her son that there's going to be a cutoff. I think that takes a lot to tell your kids. Oh, well,
But do you think it'll really happen?
No, as a parent, would you ever cut your child? If your child's not a bad child, if they're just like lollygagging through life, you're not gonna cut them off. Like
I
there's
got one
kids who have,
right now.
yeah, right. I don't like that you lollygag, but I'm not gonna watch you struggle or whatever.
Right. Right.
There's parents like Jackie Chan. He talked about how he's not leaving any of his fortune to his son because his son has a drug habit, and he knows that if he leaves the $400 million to his son, that chances are his son's going to kill himself or
Don't
whatever.
smoke it
So
all. Yeah.
yeah, his
Wow.
son's not going to get any of the money or whatever, man. And so
I can respect that.
yeah,
I can respect that. But then what do you do with it? Should I call him and get on his list? Like, what's the deal?
you do like properties and like take it to charities and shit like that or whatever.
Wow. Yeah, that has to be hard. Yeah, that has to be really hard because it's like you've amounted to all these things and you've done all these things with the idea that you will pass it on to a legacy, and now you're looking at your legacy and you can't. But then that goes back to the whole coddling thing, because at
Yeah.
what point did coddling play a role in his drug addiction?
At some point in time, when the drug addiction was in the early stages, could stomp that shit out or whatever. You know what I'm saying? As parents, that's kind of bullets you eat as parents or whatever. Letting your kids go off to school, deciding how much to coddle them. That's very much the live and learn aspect of parenting, right? Because you have multiple kids. Like one kid, maybe it's okay to coddle them a little bit more because they're not gonna let it go to their head. And another kid, that if you coddle them too much, it's gonna completely cripple them or whatever. And as a parent, you gotta gauge which child can get what level of treatment, whatever.
And hope you do it right.
And
Yeah,
hope you do it
it's
right.
rough.
That's what we don't talk
It's
about.
rough.
Parenting is all about a guessing game, bro. Like every day you wake up, every day you wake up is a brand new day for you as a parent. You never did this day before.
It is. And it's so funny because, people are always talking about like the infancy stage and they're like, oh, it's so hard. No, bro. We need to be talking about these teenagers,
Right.
pre-adult,
Young
adult.
adults.
Yeah, listen. Because,
That's what gets us.
like a baby, you can just get a baby a pacifier, get a baby a little toy, a little bit of them crackers or something, and they're pacifying. These, yeah, I was like, I was telling my mom yesterday when I was talking to her, I said, this is stuff y'all should have been talking about.
Yep.
Not this old diaper rash and all that kind of crap. We need to be talking about this
is where it gets
stage
difficult.
of life and what it looks like. Absolutely. How you navigate it effectively without going crazy.
Yeah. Like having the sex talk, like how he was out having the sex talk with his sons.
I love that.
That's real.
That.
Like
that was absolutely real.
When did you have your sex talk with your kids?
So I'm watching that this morning because I just was watching it.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I've officially had it in a situation where it was like, sit down, let's talk.
Yeah.
I think it's always been kind of like us on a go, or maybe a little something happens and I'm like, hey, you know about XYZ, or do you know about that? Or let's talk about. So I don't know that we've ever like sat down and made it serious and let's talk about it. And after watching that, I feel like I need to do this. So that's on my list, even though I got young adults.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, your kids are grown.
Well, my daughter's not, but I am definitely going to have this conversation with my son. And I actually want to have the conversation with them together because it'll be very interesting to hear the answers. My son does have a girlfriend, and I know that they are sexually active.
Facts.
And so, knowing that,
mm-hmm.
I would love to hear what he says about it in relation to the fact that his sister, I do not believe has.
How old's your daughter?
She is 17.
Does she have a boyfriend?
No,
Has she ever had a
and she
boyfriend?
no, no, and so she is very like, I don't want to say she just because it's because she focused on school. It's really kind of in how she moves, right? So she goes to an
Yeah,
all girls school, so she's not around a lot of boys all the time.
right.
They do a lot of stuff now at the high school part, the interacting piece, where they get together, the boys' school. Oh, she said she hit pause and disconnected. She says she needs a new link.
I sent her the link just now.
Oh, okay. Um, so I think that they do a lot of things, to engage them. But we're also in Jack and Jill, so she got the aspect from those boys, and I know that I feel like she is looking and interested, but I'm not sure she knows what to do to be like to let somebody know that she's interested or
Oh,
start that conversation. So
that's
yeah,
a
so
whole nother conversation. Is how
listen, I
women
know.
making themselves approachable, right?
Yep,
Like women, because
yep.
there's a lot of jokes online where women be like, "Oh, I looked at him. He should have known that meant to come over and talk to me or whatever." Like that. That's a thing where men like we kind of like. Is she looking at me long enough?
Mhm.
Like was that
Mhm.
was that smile for
Mhm.
me or somebody behind me?
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
maybe I can approach now or whatever, right? So yeah,
Yeah.
the art of flirtation is something that is
Mhm.
that needs to be taught.
Yep.
And I think this generation lost it. It's all about, oh, let me get your Instagram and I'm gonna just
I
message
was
you.
gonna
Let me
say
get the
that.
snap.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
They've
Yeah. I
lost
was
the art of like in-person flirting.
I was talking with some a teenager. Well, I guess she's a young adult yesterday. And we were saying that, and she was saying how she didn't like this particular boy because he was talking with her friend or whatever. So she's telling me the story, and I'm like, "What do you mean?" And she was like, "Well, he asked her for her Instagram, and they were having conversations in the DMs, and then he was like, 'Oh, let's meet up,' and then she was like, 'Well, when we showed up, he's with his friends, and he like he didn't want to be bothered.' I said, 'Well, he probably didn't want to be bothered.' I said, 'And he probably doesn't really like her. He just needed to show his friends, oh, this girl likes me.' I said, 'You got to read the cues.' And
Yep.
she's like, 'Oh, I didn't think about that.' I'm like, 'Yeah.' I was like, 'Social media has made y'all dumb.'
Yeah.
I
Y'all can't
said,
read human language, yeah, human
ooh,
body
at
language.
all. Because you got to think about it. You have to infer what people mean in the messages. And so they've
Mhm.
lost that connection. And I was like, yeah, I said, next time she needs to be like, no, you come find me. I'm not coming to find you. You come find me. And then if he's
Fact.
interested, he will. So
I promise you he will. Listen, men will find time for whatever they want.
at, at
Exactly.
that part,
Men
that
will have
part.
two families, two sets of children, and be at
Yep.
everybody's everything if they
Yep.
want to, or
Yep.
whatever, right?
Yep. I agree with that.
Men will be working all day long and will send you a text to let you know he's thinking about you if he wants you to know that he's thinking about you. Like
That part. Yep.
these are not things that are these are not things that are hard to do.
Yep.
And
I
if
agree.
your man is gone all day and he don't text you and he just like, oh, I'm not a texter, I don't do that. Nah, bro. Like
Oh, so what you're saying is if my husband is gone all day and he didn't text me, I
he
need to be
wasn't
like,
thinking
why you ain't
about
text
you.
me? Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All
When
right.
y'all were in the early stages.
I'm gonna make sure when I get off this, I'm gonna
Well,
say to
let me
him,
ask you a question,
no.
like because
But let
about
me
the
tell
energy
you
though,
what
right?
happened.
In the early stages, would he go all day without texting you in the early stage or calling you? I'm just saying. I'm just saying, men would
You're
get man,
right.
you get comfortable and you be like, I got the time, I just don't want to. Like I don't feel it's important enough to text you. Because one, I feel like I got you, so you're not going nowhere. So it don't matter if I text you or I don't. Or I don't like
Drop
you.
it.
You know what I'm
Drop it.
saying? And so
Drop
when
it. Listen, drop it. Drop it.
when you're in a long-term relationship, it's usually the latter of the two. Either you stop liking the person or you just get comfortable and you take the person for granted. They're not gonna go nowhere. So why I gotta text them all day for? Whatever. Or like,
What
I'm
if you
married.
never did that? I
Huh?
never did that. I never did
Exactly.
that.
Like,
There's a lag. Did you see that?
yeah, it's a lag for you now. I know what you did while you were gone.
I didn't
But
do
yours
anything.
is like, what you had to go get in the quickie with your hubby. You know what I'm
No, but
saying?
you're
Just
lagging
No,
too. So what's up with that?
no, you're lagging. And
it's
so it
you.
looks, yeah, it's your
It's
internet.
me.
And so it looks
Okay,
like
bye.
everyone else
All
is
right.
lagging.
Let me try to
You don't
fix
gotta
He
this.
said,
go
okay.
nowhere.
He said, okay, bye.
Oh, that's funny. No, but like Trish, in your situation, you know what I mean? Like, you knew who you were with from Jump Street or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because he had that same energy that whole time since the get
Maybe
go.
I had that energy.
Maybe you both had that energy, and
Yeah.
now. Now you got to decide if that energy is still worth having around.
I like that. I like that.
No, that's all.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's what happens. Okay, so are you guys following this whole P. Diddy situation?
Oh my! Let's talk about Diddy. This
Let
get
me
we'll
try to get
end.
my internet right.
We will end this talking about Diddy. My God! So is it unanimous on this call that we all agree that he's guilty as fuck, and that's why
Oh,
he
I
said
always
it
knew.
so quickly?
Well, that's why Wendy Williams got shut down. Absolutely. Wendy Williams has been talking about this for years.
Oh,
And that's why everybody is like, man, I wish Wendy Williams was on the air right now because she would have a mouthful to say. Yes.
everybody's been talking about. There's a young lady online, little she goes through like a whole timeline of Diddy and everyone who's like showed up dead, who's ever kind of come across Diddy, or everyone he started a label with, how Biggie mysteriously died right before his contract came up, and so Diddy gets to keep Biggie. Diddy gets to keep all the rights for all the Biggie stuff because he died before the contract ended. Yeah, it is just a lot, And I think that what happened was Cassie. So leading back, it looks like Cassie came to Diddy about 6 months ago and was like, "Look, I'm thinking about writing a book because I need to get this
Okay,
off
I
my
fixed it.
chest."
I
Yep, there
had
you
two
go.
things open.
There you go. And
Little
so
drag on
like
your internet.
Cassie was like, "Yo, I need to get this off my chest. I'm gonna write a book. Now you can give me 30 million and I won't write this book. Or we can write a book." And I think Diddy realistically thought the shame of you getting trains ran on you by sex workers is gonna stop you from talking about this. And ain't no way you about to tell
She
the
like
world.
30 million.
Ain't no way you gonna tell the world that I had male escorts fuck you and recorded it. You're not gonna tell the world that. I dare you to tell the world that. And
She's
she was
like,
like, "Oh,
okay,
okay,
I
okay,
got you. Yeah.
She
okay."
said, "Hold
Yeah.
my beer."
She's like, "Hold my beer." She's like, "Okay, hold my beer. Watch this." And now he's like, "Oh shit. Well, she gonna tell everything now. Let me go ahead.
Mhm.
Let me go ahead and shut this down
Well,
real
Yo,
quick."
so tell me.
allegedly, Kim
She said
Porter
that
was writing a book
real quick.
too.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, that's what
Mhm,
Albie Shore was saying. That Kim
Mhm.
was deciding to kind of.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So Wendy Williams is off the air because what? What?
Oh, well,
Well,
her health
Wendy
reasons.
Williams,
I mean,
yeah,
but what was the
she got a
catalyst
lot
behind
going.
that?
Well, her husband cheating on her. She was like losing her mind. Wendy Williams had a lot of
Mhm.
stuff going on. But when
Oh,
Wendy
I thought
Williams was
Diddy
in,
had something to do with it.
no, he did have something to do with her getting off radio.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So she left New York, came to Philly, still was talking, and then she left Philly, went back
Oh,
to New York, and then she had some good people behind her, and they were like, "Let's switch this up. Maybe we need to get this talk show." Yeah, and I think there was like
oh,
an injunction or something that she couldn't mention his name. Yeah, it was a whole lot about
really?
that. Oh
Oh,
yeah,
I
that's
did
why people
not
been
know
like,
that.
and that's why so many people when it came out was like, "Oh, y'all know he did this." Like I saw not one person was like, "Well, maybe." Everybody was like, "Oh yeah, he guilty."
Nobody,
Nobody, nobody
nobody of stature or status came out and said that's completely crazy that she would say that.
saw where what's the guy's name from Love and Hip Hop?
Young
I
Jock.
can't think of his name right now. Young Jock, where he talked about when they were all in that room and he told her to shave her hair. And
Yep.
Young Jock was like, he didn't believe she was going to do it. And the next day
And
she
she
sent
was
the
like,
picture.
Mhm.
I'm
whatever
telling you,
Sean
Mhm.
wants. Yeah.
people have stories and stories and stories for
People
days
talk.
Mhm.
about him.
People have been talking about. Apparently, Diddy throws a party every year called the Take That Party, and they were talking about how you don't want to go to Diddy's Take That Party, and now it makes so
Sis,
much
You
more
don't want to
sense.
go?
You do not want to go if you're
take
up and
that.
coming.
Just think
If
about
you're
it. Take
if
that.
you're an up and coming
Oh.
artist, if you're an up and coming
Oh,
artist,
okay.
you're young in the industry. They advise you not to go to his
Oh,
Take That
wow. Is
Party.
that like when you met back in the day when you met with Bill Cosby?
Yeah, or you went with Harvey
They're like, "Don't
Weinstein.
have a drink."
Yeah,
Yeah, don't
yeah,
drink
like
anything.
don't go to his take that parties, and that's why people are not putting two and two together. Like Usher being groomed by him, like him
Oh,
actually
yeah.
living with Usher.
Yes. That was never a
Uh,
secret, though. People been talking about that for years.
exactly.
Yeah,
Like
well, it
4
people,
really
we've
didn't
been
go.
years.
talking
It didn't go anywhere. So think about it. It's
because
been
nobody had the
rumored.
balls to stand up to him.
Right.
Exactly. Cassie's the
That
first
part.
insider to come,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
what's slick is how Diddy was trying to make himself look very, altruistic, and he gave all his artists back their
All
publishing.
That
listen,
was
that's what
all
everybody been saying.
All,
right.
but he
Everybody's
made them
been
all.
saying
He made them sign
Aubrey said
NDAs.
she was like, "Y'all need $700. I will give you
He
$700.
made them sign
Please do not
NDAs
sign
to get
that."
this publishing because he knew
Mhm.
Cassie's kind of in the background with this bullshit,
Mhm.
and so
that.
he needs to quiet as many voices as he can in case this
Yep.
actually goes out there.
So
Like
didn't you say that Mika, isn't that the blonde that had the baby by him? You remember
the
that?
Asian woman.
Oh, who's that? Is she come out?
Yeah,
She
his
came
new
out
baby
now?
mama. Yeah, his latest baby mama came out and said that he didn't want her
Oh,
to have the baby, and he pushed her down and stomped on her stomach when she told him that she was pregnant.
oh my God. So is there going to
Wow.
be a surviving Diddy?
I think Diddy done got people NDA'd up left and right
Oh
so much
no.
that they
Oh,
can't
hey,
be a
oh no, no,
surviving
no,
Diddy.
boo. Cassie done signed the NDA.
Yep.
So ain't no.
Kim Porter's gone. Cass signed the NDA. All the Bad
Right.
Boy, literally all the artists of Bad Boy have
Or
signed
dead?
NDAs,
Or
Well,
and
no,
then
they
dead?
signed the
or
NDA.
dead or
Right.
dead.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
And then so who else going to talk about Usher? Usher ain't gonna ruin his life talking about this.
Well, you
Like,
heard what Usher, you heard that the dude, the baby daddy recorded the mom, I guess, going off. And she
mm-mm.
was like, why did you overreact? He's gay anyway. And he has a recording.
Who's she
Oh, you
talking
mean
about?
Keke Palmer's mom?
Kiki, because she
Oh
was saying,
shit.
Kiki Palmer was like, he's gay anyway. So why are you so upset?
Well, I don't
He
think he's
recorded,
gay.
he recorded the conversation.
I think he's bisexual. I think
Well,
that's a
whatever.
like,
Either
yeah.
you suck.
I think
I
Diddy.
So
mean,
do
I
I.
mean,
you
Diddy
suck
turned
dick
him
or you
out.
So
don't.
do I.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Diddy, once again turned him out, and he goes swings both ways. Because I always thought he had mommy issues. Because all the women he messed with was always like 20 years older than
Or
him.
old.
They were
Yeah.
always
Because they
Yeah.
were his
grown women.
beards. They were beards. That's why.
But they gave him kids though. He got kids.
Okay. I know. Yeah, I know his her first ex-wife. Our kids went to school together.
I'm gonna say Trish knows everybody. Trish
No,
knows
I mean,
Right.
Tamika. Trish
no,
knows Tamika. She knows Simone. She knows Usher's
Right.
ex.
they
She
went to
know
school
She
together.
everybody.
knows.
So I
She
mean,
knows
I'm gonna say I knew her. I've
Antoine
talked
Fuqua.
with. Her son played football, and her oldest son played football, and Jay played football. So I knew
She
of
know
her.
people in
I had a
Potomac.
conversation with her.
Trish got her post. Look,
I don't know.
it should be 6 degrees of separation from Trish Monkey. That's what it should be
Okay.
called.
Okay. But there are 6 degree. I mean, there are.
Yeah, everybody's connected
I
to
know
everybody in
somebody who
six
knows
degrees.
Kevin Bacon.
I know
So
somebody who knows the Obamas, directly knows the Obamas. My brother.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this, everyone's connected. But yeah, no,
Mhm.
Diddy is bold because
Mhm.
he didn't even Russell. I feel like Russell Simmons had some shame because whenever all the Me Too shit came out, he just kind of skirted off the volley and was like, "Oh,
That wasn't shame. That was protecting
I'm
himself.
yeah," because he was ashamed
But
of
he
it. He
was
was
like, no, no, no. I don't think. I mean,
I
did
don't.
Russell
So I
Simmons?
don't think. Yeah, I don't think he was
He's not a
ashamed.
rapist. I don't think he's a rapist. I think he was like, this shit is
Are you
mad.
serious?
This
Are
shit's
you
crazy.
serious? When he was dating
Oh,
Kamora Lee, she was 15.
was she
He was
You don't think
15?
he's a rapist? Yes.
at
You think
Yes.
he's a rapist?
15.
Was he
He was
dating her at
I
15?
do.
yes, she was a
Yes.
grown woman. He was a grown man, and she was
He was a
He
grown
was
man.
15.
dating
Yeah.
her?
Yes,
Yes.
that's when
Well,
she was
statutory rape, I guess.
Yeah.
yeah, like
I
Russell
don't
Simmons
think.
is
Okay, let me rephrase
not a
that.
violent rapist. You want to say he's not a
Yes,
violent rapist?
Because
Okay.
remember, I already told you if I would have saw Duran Duran in 1983, and I
You would have
was
let them, yeah, 15, you would have let them
not
have it.
all of them, John Taylor, and I was like, that was not rape.
Right. But you shouldn't,
It's statutory rape.
it shouldn't. Yeah, Russell
I mean, it's weird.
not
If
gonna
some
that's
grown man
like
wants to date my 16-year-old daughter, yeah, it's weird. But when I was 16, I could see me and John Taylor being together forever. So
that's like saying R. Kelly dating Aaliyah,
no,
marrying her
it's not the
wasn't
same.
it's not the same? How is that not the same?
Yeah, I was
Because
gonna
why
say
would you
that.
want
How
to
is that not
marry
the
Please
her?
same?
tell me, huh?
No, a relationship.
So
That's
a
weird.
relationship is worse than just fucking?
Yeah, like wait,
Yeah,
Trish,
to me, a
fix that.
relationship is worse. A
Right.
teenager,
Yeah, at least I love
they can
you and I
maybe
want to be
I
with
can say
you.
I'm 18. They believe I'm 18. They'll go off. But knowing that I'm 16, you want to have a relationship? Who wants to have a relationship with a kid? That's weird.
Exactly. That's why
But to
Russell
have
Simmons
sex
is
with
a
a woman that
rapist.
you think it's somebody who think it's 18.
So then Russell married Kamora Lee and had 2 kids by her. So does that not
Yeah.
make him worse in your
I mean,
definition?
it's weird. It's weird. Yes, it's definitely weird. It's weird. I'm saying it's statutory rape, though. That's all I'm saying. It's not he's not a violent rapist. I think
But
that.
how do you know that? How do
Oh,
you
I
know?
don't know. You know, right? You know what? I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know. I just
We
like
yeah.
Russell Simmons. Maybe I just like Russell Simmons, and I'm just
So
have a
here's the
soft
thing.
spot.
So do I. I was really
He was smart enough to get the fuck out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like R. Kelly was bold. He didn't care. He stayed in the country. Diddy didn't care. Stayed in the country. These dudes like just stay here out of arrogance. I feel like Russell was like, okay, I was wrong. Let me leave.
How old was So Kimura said they dated when she was 15.
Yeah, I'm about to tell you right now.
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
I mean, and if you just do the numbers, the amount, like how long they've been together, she was very young. She was an
Yeah.
artist.
Russell right
Yeah.
now is
So for
66.
me, it's
Kamara's 48. So that's what, a 20-year
Oh,
difference.
wow.
yeah. There you
Wow.
go. Yeah.
Okay.
And so for me, it's the whole Harvey Weinstein thing. You know, they like
Mhm.
young girls, prepubescent.
Yeah. So this article says that she was a sophomore in high school when they met and started dating.
Wow.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah, that's weird.
And
A sophomore 20 years
that's
older.
about money
That's
and
weird.
power. That's what
Mhm.
that's about. That's all that's about. Money and power.
Well, Jerry Saffo's is reading some I mean, I knew it back in the day that before he started officially dating Shoshana, he picked her up from high school. She was
All
a
these dudes.
teenager.
Elvis Presley wife was like fucking like
She was like
14.
14. Well, when they
Yeah,
were hanging out, she was 14.
exactly.
There we go.
Karl Malone, NBA Hall of Famer,
Oh,
got
that
a
girl was
fucking
13.
12-year-old girl pregnant, 12,
Was she
13-year-old
12?
girl
Yeah.
pregnant. Yeah,
Mhm.
like,
No,
well,
Yeah.
Tamika, you didn't notice?
I
Mhm.
did
That's
not
why
know
Karl
that.
Malone is not, that's why he's not lauded by the NBA as he should be.
Mhm.
Like, he has a lot of records, but he's not like, he's not trotted about
I did
in the
not
NBA.
know that.
Yeah, because while he was in
No, I
college,
did
grown man
not
in
know
college,
that.
right before the year before he came out into the NBA, he went back home to his hometown and get a
Mhm.
12-year-old girl pregnant, and she,
Yeah.
had the baby when she was 13. But yeah,
And he
Karl
never
Malone
took care of the kid either,
never
did he?
took care of the kid either. Never took care of the kid.
And you a
Ever.
deadbeat?
Mhm.
Wow, no, that is a story
Yeah.
I had never heard. That is
Right.
horrible.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Well, this is the did you know
Yeah.
portion things for you, Tamika.
Right.
Did you
Yeah.
know Karl Malone likes to have sex with 12-year-old girls?
Clearly, I did not know. Like,
Yeah.
I will never, like, I got nothing. Wow, I'm like at a loss of words. Wow,
Yeah.
that's horrible.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
And
so
then as
did
a
he?
parent, like, what do you, like, when you find this out, what do you do? Like, why is he
Well, I
still
think
alive?
that's what Trish goes back to say. The same where people are all about fame and fortune and money. Why did Aaliyah's parents sign the paper so she
Right.
can marry motherfucking
But
R.
did they
Kelly?
sign it or they
Or
forge
her
the
uncle
name?
signed it. Somebody signed it. You know what I'm saying? Because they
Okay.
were
I
saying like
thought
her
she
uncle.
forged it.
But what about all the other parents who left their kids with R. Kelly? Like everyone talked about, oh, we surviving R. Kelly, but there was a lot of
Yeah.
girls who parents handed their
Mhm. Sent
daughters
them out.
over
Mhm.
to R. Kelly. Like they
Or their aunts
or their
sent them
aunts,
there.
yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
handed them over. People who knew who he was.
Right.
Sparkle knew
Absolutely.
who R. Kelly was and
Yes.
handed her niece
Yep.
over to R. Kelly.
Yep.
You know what
Oh,
I'm saying?
Sparkle didn't. She was no.
But
Yes,
Sparkle's
she
niece,
did.
yes, she
Her
did.
niece. Her niece.
No, she
Yes,
was
she
against
did.
it. She was against
No.
it.
And
No, she wasn't.
afterwards,
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
she was. I
No.
saw her
Mm-mm.
interview, and I
Mm-mm.
thought she was against it. And she was
everybody in
trying.
the interview was against it. Not when it was going on,
Now,
though.
right now, they're all against
I
it.
thought she
Yeah.
didn't
Now.
because when the parents took the money, she was like, "Don't take the money, prosecute."
Afterwards, not while it was
Oh,
going on.
really?
But here's the thing, right? How he got to the niece is through Sparkle. So, like,
Sparkle knew
she
who he
I
made
was.
the
thought once
introduction.
Sparkle saw that something like wasn't right, that she
But how
okay.
did he even get to that point? Was through
That's what I'm
It was
Sparkle.
an introduction like here you can date my niece, or was like she's talented.
But the fact that he even
She's
brought the niece
talented,
around
right?
Okay.
and
Okay.
then left her alone with R. Kelly, like she knows who Kelly is. So even if you bring your
Right.
niece around, look at perfect example, Beyonce's people, Tina and their dad. They
Mhm.
never let the girls be
Matthew.
alone with R. Kelly
Yep.
ever, even though
Yep.
they. As talented as they knew Kelly was, as talented as their daughters were, they wouldn't even let the daughters go to the bathroom by themselves in R. Kelly's studio.
Did they
Like
record with R. Kelly?
yeah.
I don't even
Mhm.
remember that.
Very
So
early on.
they were
Okay.
like, they
Destiny's
knew,
Child did.
yeah, they
Okay.
knew who Kels was,
Mhm.
and they were like, I'm not gonna leave you alone with him. I'm not
Yeah.
not gonna let you go to the studio with him by himself. I'm not gonna let you go to the bathroom.
Right.
Sparkle knew who he was, and she
Mhm.
still let him have full access to her
Access.
niece.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Okay.
Yeah. It's just crazy.
the industry's littered with it, man. Like, and I
It
think
is.
Diddy is just now the latest person who is going to skate by and everything else, right? Because Diddy played it smarter than everyone else. Harvey
Yep.
Weinstein never had
He
anybody
did.
sign NDAs.
Nope.
Nobody else, like Diddy has everybody legally
Mhm.
silenced
Tied. Yep.
or dead.
Yep.
Or
Yep.
dead. And so
Yeah.
in a
Mhm.
couple months, he'll do some charitable work. He'll,
Yep.
you
Well,
know,
no,
really.
remember, no. Before this story dropped, he had just given Howard all this money. I'm telling you, he had it all lined up.
Oh,
Oh
yes, he
yeah.
He had it
did.
all lined up, and I think he had it lined up really in a way, with the whole giving all the rights and all that stuff, because he knew that people were going to believe him, believe her, right? And I think it
Mhm.
was like, you know what? Here's how I'm gonna do this damage control, so then the blow won't be so bad.
Right.
because literally everybody is like, yeah, he did it. But it's not changing how people feel about him. Like no
And
one is like,
nope.
oh, cancel P Diddy.
No,
None of
I've
that. We're
not
not getting
seen
any of
one
that.
cancel
Not
Diddy.
one person.
One.
No, you're right.
No one person says stop listening to Bad Boy Records. No one. Where's Mariah Carey? Mariah Carey, who's done a gajillion remixes with Bad Boy, has not come out and spoken out against Diddy in any way, shape, or form. No one has. He
Think about it.
no one, no one. He
Yeah.
let he and he's smart in the sense that he did not like it. He did not let it be a long news cycle. 24
For
hours.
24
Yep.
hours.
24
Yep.
hours.
Yep.
Killed it out the
Yep.
news
He
cycle.
like, oh
Now
wait.
we need
He like, oh wait, they got this story. Pay
what's
her.
me we need Mia Farrow's son who did that who broke the whole Harvey Weinstein thing open. What's his name? Oh gosh, blonde, blue eyes. What's
What's
his
his
name?
name?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Mia
We need
Farrow.
him. We need him to do an expose. What's his name? He broke the whole Harvey Weinstein
But
story.
ain't no
Yeah,
way
but
to do an expose because
there
there's too
won't be
many
an expose
NDAs.
on this. Right.
Everybody's
There
sealed
no
up,
people either got paid.
You think
or
there's
they're dead, or they're too scared that they're going to end up dead.
Ronan Farrow?
Yeah,
Ronan, we need you.
Diddy got everybody
No.
sealed up.
Somebody shine the
Ronan like
backlight.
Ronan
How
like, no,
much
I'm
money? Then
good.
what were they?
I'm
What will
good.
they lose?
He's like, I don't want them. I don't want the Diddy issues.
I don't know.
Listen, he blew up somebody's car because they were dating Cassie. And it wasn't just a nobody. He blew up Kid Cudi. At that time, Kid Cudi was one of the biggest rappers in the game internationally, and he blew up his fucking car because he was dating Cassie. Like no one wants Diddy problems in their life because he
At
is a
all.
sociopath. Yeah,
Well, wait a minute. Who do you think had more power, Diddy or Harvey Weinstein? Come on, Harvey Weinstein did.
Harvey Weinstein has power in the sense of,
He had
I'm
power
not going to give you a career. Diddy has power in the sense of, I'm going to kill you.
No, how do we
Like,
know Harvey
And
Weinstein
so
had
okay,
that
so
juice?
let's roll this back. First of all, you're talking about a white man and a black man. So ask that first question again, right? You know Harvey Weinstein had power just because he was a white man.
Right.
Yep.
And because of the circles that he was already privileged to because of his color, right? So now you got Diddy, who everybody wanted to be with Diddy. Everybody wanted to be his friend.
White and
Everybody
black,
wanted
no
to
matter.
be connected to him, right? Exactly. Don't matter the color. So the power is out of control. And so these rumors and all the stuff that we're talking about is not new.
Yeah,
like
it's nothing
these
new
are
to
things
nobody in the
that
industry.
people have been talking about for years. And then it was stopped because something would happen to the person or whatever. I'm telling you, listen, it was all rolling out. I don't know who his people are, but they got this on lock.
They were smart.
So yeah, they were.
They
So I really think this story is gonna die. I do. I think
it's on life support right now. It is struggling to stay alive as we speak.
I think Thanksgiving we're gonna see that he fed all these families in Brooklyn.
Ooh.
He fed all the homeless in the
Thanksgiving and Christmas, great time of years. Do some charitable giving.
There you go. I'm telling you,
it's a wrap.
January,
By January,
he gonna have given some scholarships to some students. I'm about to see if he want to give one to my daughter.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm telling you,
yeah.
like this Cassie story is gonna be non-existent.
Graduation's coming up. He might pay for a whole high school's tuition. Graduation.
Or he gonna roll up to Howard and pay off everybody's student loans. I'm telling you what's happening.
Yeah.
Listen,
There's a blueprint to shut this down.
Absolutely, it's done. And you know who
blueprint to
needs to get on this blueprint? Will Smith.
But has Will done anything to need to have a blueprint?
Hey, okay, bye.
Yeah, she
So
on.
you said, what about?
But has he done anything that he needs to? I mean, if we just look at it, the only thing that Will Smith may have done is have a consensual relationship with another man. That's
But he doesn't want people to know that.
So he's in the closet. Worst thing about Will Smith is he's in the closet. He's a closet bisexual. That's it. And he's a chump for loving Jada the way he does. Like, I think now people actually feel bad for Will.
Bad for him. Yeah.
It's like at first people were like, "Oh man, you so lame," but now it's like, "Damn, dude, like, don't let her hurt you no more, bro." Like Will, people like, "Do you love yourself, Will? Like, why are you letting her treat you like this? Like, stop letting her hurt you."
Yeah, it's bad. It is. It's bad. It's bad. I know. I feel bad for him, but yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I think it's all unfolding. So I think 24. I think these next few months we about to see a whole lot.
I think that we are going to see in a couple of years. There's going to be some PR classes and marketing classes at schools that's going to look at Diddy's PR team and be like, "This is how you avert a crisis.
This is the funnel.
This is how you avert a crisis.
Yep.
Look at these steps that we're taking: NDAs, positive charitable donations, and silence. Because
Yeah.
Diddy's never come out and said anything. He didn't make no tweets
Nothing.
about it, no social media. He was completely silent. He let his lawyer do everything. All the talking came through his lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
He let Cassie do all the talking, all the rumors. He didn't try to refute them, nothing. Just silence, and then cut a check quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Cut the check quickly. No more than 24 hours. Shut that story down. So by the time the weekend came out, it's like, I'm gonna shut it down before you even get into your weekend, because people
Yes.
like to cut up on weekends, and like,
Yep.
so if I can kill the news cycle before the weekend starts, yeah, half the battle's
Yep.
already done. He didn't
Yep.
argue with his
And
team. I'm sure.
Yep.
Yeah, his team was probably
I
like, "Yo,
would.
cut the check," and he was like, "Yep, cut the check."
Yep. Exactly. Yep. Yep. And it made sense. Like, we don't need, like, we did some damage control. It's out. Boom. People talking about it. Pay her this money. Shut her up and let's move on.
And because
Yep.
now, what's crazy is by her accepting the money, people starting to vilify her.
Oh, absolutely.
My
Like, what
God.
happened? Oh, it's crazy. And so I was reading one thing, and this guy, he was like, never in a million years would somebody be able to pay me for having sex with me. He needs to go to jail. And I'm like,
Shit.
but this wasn't a criminal case. This was a civil case. I'm like, what are you
Yeah,
talking about? There was no prosecution. Like, he wasn't about to go to jail. He just don't want that narrative out there. Like,
yeah,
he didn't need that. So yeah.
yeah, facts. Yeah,
Yes, people are definitely like,
and that's
oh, he
also
paid for her
the
silence.
person. Yeah, he did. But these are all the
Mhm.
people who also don't have someone offering you a $30 million check in front of your face. A lot,
That part. That
like
part.
a lot of people can talk really big until somebody offer you $30 million. So y'all acting,
Yeah.
some people act strange for change at their job. They let their manager talk to them
What?
crazy, making $60,000 a year, $30,000 a year.
Mhm.
They
Mhm.
let their manager touch their ass or brush up
Mhm.
against them when they're making 45 G's. Now somebody's
Yep.
offering you 30 million to not talk about shit that happened.
Yep.
Yeah, you
That
talking real
already
big on the
happened,
internet.
right?
Yeah, you talking real big on the internet now.
Right.
Let a $30 million check be
Mhm.
sitting in front of your face.
$5 million check. They'd be like,
Bro, who you
"Swoop,
telling?
nothing."
You
Yeah, I
know,
listen.
who you telling,
I
bro? 5 mil.
listen.
Listen,
And
she's
I'm
with a
like,
trainer now.
listen. Hopefully, she's already been to therapy. She knows the stories out there. People know. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
and she
She like, I'm gonna
and
get
she
paid
already
now.
knew, that people knew because the industry knows. The
Mhm.
industry knew who she
Mhm.
was and how Diddy treated her. It was it. And I
Yep.
think that's the thing that we have to understand. Like, there's not. She was already, shamed and embarrassed years ago because everyone that she was
Right.
around knew how Diddy treated her. Like, the public didn't know, but
Right.
hundreds and hundreds of people that she had to smile in front of and
Mhm.
shake their hands and do something, they knew how she was treated by Diddy. So she'd already been through
Yep.
this or whatever. So now I
Yep.
might as well get paid for it. Cut me the check.
Right.
Run them dollars. Run
Yeah.
them ducks.
And it's so crazy to me the amount of people that witness this abuse and still mess with him. Like,
Because they
even
want
if
to be.
you weren't confident enough in you or whatever to stand up for her, but that you continue to align yourself with him. It's crazy to me.
Everybody want to be near the throne. Everybody want to be close to the throne. And when you talk
That's
crazy
just
about the
but
throne, people look at you like you're crazy.
at that cost, like, come on. Like, the things that, she
Look at
said, I don't know if
Kelly.
you read the case
I read the
report.
case
Like,
file.
it's crazy.
I
It's
read it.
crazy.
Look at the stuff that R. Kelly
Crazy.
did, and
Yeah.
and essentially R. Kelly was worse. He made people eat shit. He made women eat
Yeah.
shit and piss. Like, this dude was on, and people still want to be near the throne. People around him would go get the young girls out the crowd and bring them to R. Kelly, knowing what he was going to do to those
Mm,
girls. All because
mm,
people want to be near power. People crave to be powerful or be near or close to the people who are powerful, and will do just about anything to do so. And it is rare when you find
that's
somebody who
sad.
puts integrity above power. That's
Mm, mm,
why whistleblowers are always kind of vilified, because how you gonna be a whistleblower? Like, you're supposed to. It's not a thing for you to be a whistleblower. You're supposed to just accept it and be close to the
fall in
power.
line.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Nah. Yeah. So
That's
everybody in
horrible.
the industry, and then you gotta think about all the people in the industry who participated in the things.
That part.
People say don't go to Diddy's parties because they were at Diddy's parties and they know what goes
Doing
on at
what
Diddy's
it,
parties.
absolutely. Yep.
Exactly. They know that
Yeah.
they years later when they grown and they older and they got kids in themselves, they tell young kids, hey, don't do that.
Right.
But they can say
Right.
don't do that because they did that.
Yep.
And they were taking whatever they
Yep.
wanted to take at they just take that parties or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
So it is
mm.
it is
Whew.
it is a super slope. Yeah. But I'm gonna enjoy the PR show. It's gonna be a show. The
Oh yeah,
PR
I'm paying
show in the next
attention.
few months is gonna
Abs-
it's gonna be a
oh
show.
yeah.
Nah,
Yeah,
but
it really is. It is.
so what's going on
It
with
is.
Life and
Yeah.
Pumps before we get out of here? What you got going on? Where you traveling to?
What am I doing? I'm going to Boston. I'm Boston. I'm going to Western Massachusetts in December. December, the first week of December. I'm traveling Tuesday for Thanksgiving, but I'm doing a TV segment tomorrow on packing hacks in my local TV
Ooh,
station. So yeah,
awesome. Like
that's
packing
what I'm
hats for
about
traveling?
to get started. Yep,
That's what's up.
yep, yep. So
I'm
that's what
gonna
I'm getting
peep that.
prepared for.
Is it
But
just
that's
ladies
it.
hats or you gonna do caps as
No,
well?
no, not hats. Hacks. Like, ways to
Oh,
make your
hats.
packing, yes, easier. Yes,
Okay, packing hacks. Okay,
yes,
there you go.
yes,
Oh, that's what's
yes,
up. Yeah, that's needed.
yeah.
That's definitely for traveling.
Well,
Or now
especially
wait,
right now, because they telling people with Thanksgiving, first of all, you got to get to the airport probably like 4 hours
hella early.
beforehand.
Hella early.
And even if you got clear and TSA and all that, they telling people, and then the whole thing with the whole baggage claim. And I tell people, listen, y'all need to figure out how to pack because baggage claim is not the place you want to be
I
at
don't
all.
listen. I learned my lesson traveling, doing some AAU traveling with my son, and we were traveling to Pennsylvania, and our bags didn't get there. And after that, I was like, we ain't never checking bags again. Everything you need to
Oh
pack, you need to
yeah.
figure out how to pack it in and put it
Yep.
above your head or keep it in your book bag. Because you can
Yep.
get one above your head and you get one in your book bag. You got to pack all that shit up that way because
Yep.
we're not
Yep.
checking no bags. You know what I'm saying?
And so that's
So
what
I'm
we're
gonna
gonna
be
be
interested.
talking
I'm gonna be
about.
interested to see that.
Yep.
That's so we're
Yep.
looking forward to seeing that. So
All right. Very
check out
good.
Life and
All
Pumps
right.
on Twitter, YouTube, all over the place. Check us out on Two Live Recruiters, Twitter, YouTube, any streaming platform that you got going on. You can find us on there. You don't know how to find us? Ask Alexa.